Hi guys, welcome to the Binance Africa YouTube channel. I'll be taking you through this video tutorial series Web3 with Binance. So make sure to subscribe to this channel and enable notifications so you get alerted whenever videos in this series is going to be dropped. So today's topic is going to be what is Web3. I'll be walking you through on what Web3 is. But first off, we need to talk about the evolution of the web for you to understand Web3. You need to understand, Web 1, Web 2, and obviously Web 3. We'll also be comparing Web 2 with Web 3. Web 2 is predominantly what we're using now. So we're kind of in this transitional phase where we're going over to Web 3. So it's important that you understand these things. So we also discuss what can be done with Web 3, that's the features of Web 3. And then we're going to discuss, blockchain and Web3, the role of blockchain and, cryptocurrencies in Web3. And then we'll start drawing conclusions. So let's get started, guys. So now let's talk about the evolution of the web. Now we have, had like three phases of the web so far. So the first phase was, in the early, stages of the internet in the early 1990s or so. So in that stage, we called it Web 1. This was the read-only phase of the internet. This was the first version of the web. What basically existed then were, static text-based, web pages. So users only came there to get information. That's why we call it read only. You only go there to read information, and that was pretty much it. At best, what existed back then were actually, only text-based platforms, platforms to, send text messages at best. So besides that, it was pretty much going there to get data. But then we actually kind of transited to, the second phase of the internet, Web 2, in the late 90s, 1999, early 2000s. So we started seeing this new version of internet where, people will not only go to the internet to read, that's to get data. You can also write. So this version of the internet was more interactive. So it was basically, a phase where, human beings can actually interact with the internet. Finally, it was kind of a participatory web. So it was platform centric. People could actually go over and create user-generated content because prior to that, there was nothing like uploading your video on YouTube, uploading your profile picture on Instagram. But then with this, it actually brought this this era of user-generated content. You could actually upload videos, upload podcasts, write blogs, upload your status and all that. So this improved interactivity between we, the users of the internet, and the web, the internet itself. So, but now we're actually seeing a transition to, what we call Web3, okay? Which is going to be the stage of the internet where we won't be only able to read and write, but also be able to own, data on the internet, okay? So this is going to be the decentralized, form of the internet. So it means by decentralized it means that there will not be any need for centralized bodies controlling data, okay? Because this centralized prior to Web 2, why Web 2 presented a good feature of interactivity. It also had caveats with decentralized bodies controlling data, controlling barriers to entries and all that. So it was easy for them to kind of sell these data off to advertisers. That's why we see ads every day on Web 2. So these things are what is going to be actually countermeasured with the decentralized web, which is Web 3. So with Web 3, users are going to be at the center, and they'll be able to own their own data. These kind of things, are right around, what we expect with Web 3. Like I said, we are still in the transition phase. We are kind of very, very, very much early. Let's go over it. Now, let's talk about Web 2, versus Web 3. I mean, I've started that, in the previous section. But with Web 2, you have your big tech companies, TikToks, Twitters, Instagram, Facebooks, YouTubes. Okay. So the Web 2 was basically, dominated by these big tech companies, which we use in our day-to-day lives. Okay. Basically controlling, a platform means that you get to, say who gets to be on the platform and who doesn't get to be. So we have seen that happen a lot in these in the past few years. And data is censored on Web 2. okay, and is monetized by these big companies, okay? So that's actually the price you have to pay for the interactivity of the internet in Web 2, because the data we actually upload, okay, or give these platforms, they actually get to actually monetize it by selling it to advertisers who show ads to us, okay? So that's basically what it means. So now with Web3, like I said, it's going to be governed by decentralized platforms, stuff we call the decentralized autonomous organizations, DAOs. There will be a video on DAOs, coming up in this series. So make sure to be subscribed and enable notifications so you get alerted whenever, that video drops. So, and in this version of the internet, users are going to be able to control their data, okay? They won't have to rely on central bodies, big tech companies to control and even sell their data for them. So there'll be greater privacy. People get to, sell their data if they want, or if they don't, they get to keep their privacy. It's very, very important for a lot of people that, they don't actually leave their digital footprints everywhere on the internet, okay? So users can also get rewarded, like I said, for sharing their data for those who want to sell their data. So it's basically going to give, people more control over their data. Let's talk about the features of Web3. So I'm able to interact, exchange information, and conduct peer-to-peer transactions, via cryptocurrencies. So NFTs were, considered the early version of technology that lets users, become owners of their data and actually create that data. So the use of blockchain also enable permissionless, digital identities. So with the usage of crypto wallets, so leading to more inclusive and equitable digital economies. Okay. So another essential feature of Web3 is going to be called the semantic, web, okay, which means that computers are able to understand and use informations just as human beings can, okay? So with the help of artificial intelligence, rules for handling data and better sensor hardware, the world of information will serve our needs, dynamically and more, intelligently, okay? Let's look at how blockchain actually fits into Web3. So now the open censorship resistant, user-owned, and trustless Web3 of the future needs new technology, obviously, needs infrastructure to back it. And the blockchain actually provides this infrastructure, okay? So, and it actually provides answers to many of these Web3 goals. So it's not only just okay to say, yes, we want an internet system where it will be decentralized. Remember, centralized bodies used to help us control this data. But now, if we're going to take them away, then there has to be infrastructure in place to actually keep things in order, right? So now this is where the blockchain comes in. Now, built on the, yeah, although the blockchain technologies, are still in development, like I said, we're still early in this stage. So, but they are going to attempt to answer, question of how to manage a decentralized ecosystem. So built on the blockchain technology, predominantly is the cryptocurrency technology, okay, cryptos. So many crypto products are going to play essential or even critical roles in this new stage of the internet called the Web3, okay? So blockchain-based digital identity, crypto wallets, DeFi services, NFTs, tokenizations are some of the existing crypto tools that you know right now, and they can be readily applied, toward building the future of the Web3 ecosystem. Okay. So now start concluding. So on some concluding points, I want you to get some key points here from this video. Now, the evolution of the internet, most importantly, what I want you to note is that the evolution of the internet is still an ongoing journey. Okay. We might see, the internet graduate from Web3 to Web4. We could see the internet, go from Web3 to Web 3.5, other stuff. We never know how it is going to go. But what we know right now is that, Web is going to make the internet more personalized, transparent, and decentralized. This is, what, most of us can agree at the moment. So while we may not have the concrete definition of Web3 yet, the innovations are underway, and we're still early, and blockchain has a very critical role to play in the future of Web3, okay? So that will be all for this video, guys. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and enable notification because there'll be more videos on Web3 coming up. And also drop a like and share this video if you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Stay safe.